everybody. Welcome to the Geek Matrix DC Comics Review Show. Episode number. Shit, I've lost the plot. I have no idea what number this is. I want to say 296, I believe, but this is the DC Comics Review for the week of May 27th, 2026. My name is Rob. I'm here pretty much every week, except if I have a big family event going on. And I'll be talking this week about our DC Comics releases. Josh and Brandon are unavailable this week. Brandon is stuck at work, unfortunately, and Josh has injured himself. He can barely sit down. So he is unable to make it today. Very understandable. So I will be filling in for the day and for the week. Let me just pull this up. Yeah, the books we will be covering this week, or I will be covering this week, that we will be talking about: Absolute Wonder Woman number 20, Green Lantern number 35, The Flash number 33, Zatanna number 2, Superman number 38, Detective Comics number 1109, 1109 for the longtime fans, if you will, and Justice League Unlimited number 19, with the honorable mentions going to Gotham Academy First Year number 4, Superman Father of Tomorrow number 1, The Peril of the Brutal Dark, and Ezra Kane Mystery number 4, Harley Quinn number 62, Swamp Thing 1989 number 2, and Batman number 163. Oh boy, indeed. If I may, just to start things off, Batman number 163. Yeah, that is a thing. It's the end of part 1 of Hush 2, and we don't know when part 2 is coming. But Jeff Loeb has still insisted that it'll be continuing at least until 2027, which is insane because this started in hell 2025. Is it? No. God damn, was it? Hang on. Now I gotta find that out. Oh goodness, was it 2025? um, Release dates. Batman 63. It was this week. Shit. You know what? I think it was. It just feels wrong. January 2025 is when it started. That can't be right. That can't be right. A year and a half for 6 issues? No. No. Hang on. So it would have been Batman number 158. Yeah, that came out. Okay, May 2025. It's the first part of Hush 2. Yeah, so okay, it's been 1 year. 1 year. Oh, no, published in March 2026, 2025. Okay. Yeah. So it's been a while. Over a year for 6 issues. And then we don't know when part 7 is coming out. But beyond the scheduling issues and how long this fucking thing is taking, Jeff Loeb has insisted that it will lead into the next story arc, the next run with the next creative team, which I can only assume is the Matt Fraction run, which by the time it finishes will be going, got to be close to issue 30, which is insanity. But beyond that, I've yet to hear or see a single good thing said about this storyline. The art's pretty good. I like the art. I've always been a fan of Jim Lee, and yes, Jim Lee's gotten a bit older and he's a lot busier, so his pencils won't be as good as they were 20 years ago. The fact of the matter is, it's still pretty good in comparison to other artists that have gone on to bigger and better things, or fallen back with the times, or have just aged themselves out of the business a little bit. Like, for example, Frank Miller, John Romita Jr., like people that somehow are still getting work, but let's face it, are nowhere near like they used to be. They are, as the kids say, washed. I would not say Jim Lee is washed. I would not say he's aged himself out. He's still really good. He's just not as good as he used to be. So I still really appreciate the art, but it's not enough to make this book good. The story is all over the place. It's nonsense. It makes no sense. And the end of part 6 drove me fucking nuts. I don't even know what the hell happened. It's just dumb. Uh, yeah. Hopefully one day we'll get good Batman books and good Wonder Woman books going on again. one fucking day. Swamp Thing, Harley Quinn, and Gotham Academy, I have not been checking out personally. Also, Ezra Kane Mystery and Superman Father of Tomorrow, I have not been able to read yet. I've been enjoying the hell out of the Ezra Kane Mystery, Parallel Brutal Dark. It has been a fantastic thrill ride. Very crime noir with a hint of like Cthulhu-esque storylines, Lovecraftian tales. That's what I was trying to think. I couldn't remember the name of that writer. Lovecraftian style writing with a very crime noir-esque feel. Superman Father of Tomorrow looks very interesting. For those that don't know, it is an alternate universe, Elseworlds, as they're calling it again, where Jor-El came to Earth instead of Clark. I think it's a kind of story that has been told before. Jor-El came to Earth instead. But he is the only survivor of Krypton at that point. Even Kal-El died. For whatever reason, Jor-El is the only one that made it off the planet before it exploded, and he crash landed on Earth at the Kent farm, and then is telling his story of being on Earth as this futuristic alien being. So there's that going on. It does look pretty good. I'm excited to check it out. Hopefully it's a good first issue. As for news, I can't say there's been much. I'll just do a quick little rundown. I don't think there really has been anything. Yeah, no, that looks like it might be it. Yeah. Shit, snow news week. Very slow news week. Yeah. Well then. All right, that's really it. Damn. All right. I was hoping at least somebody would be here so I could talk about my adventures with Superman because I have caught up to it. It is pretty damn good. If y'all have not watched it, have not checked it out, do yourself a favor. Just get through the first couple of episodes because once you get really into it, you get really into it. I binged both seasons that are out currently in about a week and a half, maybe. And not because I didn't enjoy it, but because I just didn't have time to binge it in a couple of days. If I had nothing but free time, I would have had that done in a day probably. It was that good. It is a very big reimagining of Superman's lore and his story. Very anime inspired, as the writers and showrunners have said. It is Dragon Ball Z inspired. So you might not get that sense in the first season, but is very apparent in the second. So keep that in mind. It is very, very good and well worth your time. I'll put that up there with Green Lantern, the animated series, BTOS, STOS. It's solid stuff. The Batman from 2004. It's solid fucking stuff. But without further ado, I think I will just jump right into our books. And I'm going to be summing these up pretty succinctly, I think, or at least I'm going to try anyway. We're going to start off with Absolute Wonder Woman as soon as I get to the creative teams. Here we go. This is written by Kelly Thompson with art from Hayden Sherman. The cover from Hayden Sherman, Jordi Belair, Terry Dodson, Rachel Dodson, Carl Kerschel, and Clayton. Oh, no, it's covers. Whoops. Okay. The main cover, Hayden Sherman and Jordi Belair. Colors from Jordi Belair, letters from Becca Carey. This is Absolute Wonder Woman number 20. So picking up where we left off last issue in Gateway City, this giant robot, don't remember what it's called, has attacked the city, basically attacking Diana as well as Zatanna and Zatara. Zatanna teleports herself and her father away while this giant behemoth machine is able to capture Diana. It takes her all the way to Area 41.X, which is basically the military scientific base that Veronica Cale runs. And they perform all sorts of experiments on Diana, drawing her blood, torturing her a little bit, electrocution, all sorts of stuff. We got a brief interlude of Hades and shit. Which one is this? God, is that Artemis? I don't fucking remember. Persephone? I don't remember which goddess it is, but the two of them just having a little romantic spat. I don't know what that was about. I don't quite get it, but it was there and it was interesting. And then we jump back to Diana getting tortured until she is pulled down into the Wild Isle for 1 month, as per the deal she made with Hades. It's Persephone. Persephone's propaganda seed, so she must return to the underworld for 1 month of every year. However, the city's in dire need of repair. It's in a lot of danger. Zatanna and Zatara are in the wind somewhere. Her friends are in danger. Her enemies are even in danger. And even more so, Barbara Minerva has also been captured by Veronica Cale. And the only time we saw her in this issue, she was being talked to by Veronica. And they seem to have a bit of a professional rapport with each other. And there was a person, a cheetah-shaped person, which I think we saw in that initial group Season of the Witch Part 1, took a bite out of Barbara. There's some questioning things here. Barbara's chained to a table. She's got a bite in her arm, but the cheetah lady is lying on the ground on her side, covered in blood. It's I don't know what's going on here. There was some very, very curious stuff here. This is the last part of the story arc, called Season of the Witch, part 5 of 5. The introduction of Absolute Zatanna and her father and a whole bunch of other characters. But it ended with so many more questions than I thought. And I'm not going to say this was a bad issue. It was a very good, thrilling story. But as far as the end of a story arc goes, very unfulfilling. Left a lot to be desired, left a lot of questions on the table. And I know that's just getting you excited for the next story arc, but it didn't feel like an end to an arc leading into the next one. It just felt like another chapter of story. Like this is 20 issues so far. Each story arc, even though it's all one big story, has had a beginning, middle, and end of that arc that then led into the next arc of the next story. This did not feel like the end of the story. This felt like there was so much more left on the table. But at the same time, if you think about a TV show, you get to episode 20 and like story arc ends, but there's like 4 episodes left in the season, so shit's going crazy and there's throwing stuff at the wall because they got to get up for the season finale. That's the same kind of vibe it has. But as far as I know, they're not doing this season like, right? Unless, I don't know, Season of the Witch, who knows? Maybe that is season 1 of Absolute Wonder Woman. So like I said, I enjoyed it, just didn't feel like a proper ending for the story arc. So it will be getting, I'll give it a 7.5 for me, which might be the lowest scoring issue of Absolute Wonder Woman I've ever done, because it's been a solid fucking book. We are then going to, let me just write that down real quick, actually. Hang on une seconde, monsieur, s'il vous plaît. Absolute. Look at me being so on the ball. Oh my god, why can't I type? Absolute Wonder Woman. 7.5. All right, so now we jump on over to Green Lantern at number 35. This is brought to us by Jeremy Adams, writing with art from Ig Gurana and Montos, colors from Romulo Fajardo Jr., and letters from Dave Sharp, with the cover from Zermanico. And he always does some damn good covers. So we open up on an alien somewhere in Beverly Hills being experimented and operated on by some doctor does not get the name at the time, but he's got a creepy ass smile, and he promises to make this alien being, this like bug looking thing called Flinks, to just have a completely new look, completely unrecognizable altogether. Meanwhile, in Hollywood, and that was, yeah, it was somewhere in Beverly Hills. So meanwhile, in Hollywood, Kyle is acting as bodyguard for brand new lead actress Odyssey, the Time Bandit. She's getting her makeup done, as the makeup artists are not able to cover up the star tattoo over her eye. So the director suggests she goes to see Dr. S. That's the short form of his name. Excuse me. Yeah, they still haven't said what his name is. It was Dr. S. Um, and on the way, so she goes off to do that while Kyle goes flying around. He finds some guy on the top of a building, with a woman at knife points. Uh, excuse me. He pushes her off the building when he sees Green Lantern showing up, because he just gets scared shitless and uses her as a distraction so he can run away. Obviously, Kyle is able to save her with the green construct. He runs off into the building, so Kyle heads into to find him. But turns out he's also an alien. He's climbing on the walls, attacks Kyle, scares the crap out of him, but Kyle is able to get the upper hand on him, using a green construct, realizing this guy is a little stronger than he might come across. So he's able to use some giant green hammer construct to hit him off into the wall. But what that does is accidentally tear his fucking head off. This is when the alien being decides to rip out of the fleshy suit he had. I can only imagine this was Flinks. So Kyle is able to hold him down using a construct of 100 tons anvil. Then gets the info that he needs out of him. Obviously, this alien apparently is not one of the science cell escapees that Kyle is looking for, but he's going to get him off the planet anyway. Not necessarily to a science cell, but he's going to go to some kind of court system in space somewhere. Not before he gets the answers of where he got the skin suit. And coincidentally, it's the same place that Odyssey has gone. So hope I can actually get his name, because I know they said it. I want to say it was Dr. Smile, but I could be wrong. Oh, it's Dr. Skin. That's it, Dr. Skin. And he is a creepy person. The nurse is also a little creepy. But, well, I was going to say potentially an alien, but is very much confirmed when Kyle shows up and kind of asks to see the doctor. And she just tries to shoo him off. He questions the fact that she wasn't even surprised to see him. So then she grows spider legs out of her lower legs and starts to attack him. Meanwhile, Dr. Skin is beginning to perform on Odyssey. Odyssey realizes things are a little bit too much, as Dr. Skin's face is really fucking creepy. Kyle comes blasting through the wall, trying to get away from the nurse alien, as Dr. Skin kind of turns into an alien being himself with a lot of tentacles, teeth, and eyes. It's seeing is believing with this one. Next time promises to be Green Lantern and Odyssey versus Dr. Skin, aka Love is in the Air, and the fast food wars begin. Meanwhile, as well, also in outer space, the misadventures of Hal Jordan on an outpost, no clue where we are. Jaina and Hal are still running around now with the Y2K. What was his name? Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Wow. Now I don't remember his freak. Oh yeah, Toby Y2K, aka the last son of Earth. Hal starts to question how he's the last son of Earth, and how he got there. And Toby reveals that he left his planet behind, or his father sent him from Earth, his home planet, and all he knows of the planet and his father are tapes his father left him that Earth was a beautiful place. His father was very, very nervous about this potential disaster that was going to happen, so he sent his son off planet to be safe from the Y2K bug. Because the planet is too reliant on technology. And then as Toby Y2K explains it, everyone had their technologies based on time measurement tools called clocks, but they were not able to adjust to the date as it changed from one millennium to another. So all the technology just went haywire and destroyed the fucking planet. There was the apocalypse called Y2K. Um, but thankfully, his father was able to build a rocket ship and send him off the planet to safety. And he landed on Takron Galtos, which, if I remember right, is the prison planet, where he was taken in by a ferocious race of warriors and raised to be the universe's best bounty hunter. And that is when he betrays them. Turns out Toby Y2K was just taking them to some guards because he wanted to get a lot of money. So the fight breaks out. Hal gets taken away, but Toby is, I don't know if he has a bit of a change of, yeah, no, he does. He has a bit of a change of heart once he hears that Hal is going to be killed. Toby has a code against killing, so he ends up freeing Jaina, who was kind of trapped against a wall. She turns into a great ape, kind of beats off some of the guards, knocks them out, and then grabs Toby, says, "You're going to help me save Hal." And they get a little text box saying, "Where did Hal go?" Read Aquaman number 18, which is the next issue of that arc, or that story, that book, which I think is coming out next week, if not the week after. So that is what's happening with Hal right now. We will be seeing him in Aquaman number 18, also written by Jeremy Adams. Hey, what do you know? Right, so when it comes to that, I don't even know how I feel about this one still. Like it's been a fun ride. It's still a few issues into Kyle being center point on the book again. But the thing is, he's not even fully the center point because Hal is still there in the B story, and we knew that was happening. That was telegraphed from the beginning. Jeremy Adams said so even before it happened, and that's fine. I think my gripe from last issue still stands, that it's just the pacing just feels a little off when it comes to certain things with Hal's story. But I didn't mind the Hal chapter this time around. It wasn't overbearing to the Kyle plot. I just wish they would have kept it separate and not interrupt the issue halfway through. It did create kind of like a time break, because reading it the second time just now when I was doing the synopsis, Kyle going from being in the makeup studio with Odyssey to all of a sudden now he's just flying around the city. It was really weird, but it created that Hal story right in the middle, kind of created a necessary time skip that you could just catch up with Kyle and assume that it's later on in the day. But the stuff with Hal this issue was actually a lot more interesting. Maybe specifically because of Toby Y2K, his history is kind of funny. And obviously this is going to tie into Aquaman. I don't know. We've yet to see if that chapter of Aquaman is necessary to read for Hal's journey that is happening in Green Lantern. But we'll have to see. I have a feeling it won't be, and he's kind of just there. The only thing you'll need to know is, well, last I saw in Green Lantern, he was whisked away by some guards, and now he's back with Jaina. Like, who the fuck knows? We do know that Zan is palling around with Aquaman, so if Hal sees Zan, he's going to be like, hey, your sister's looking for you. I know where she is. Wait, no, I don't. I don't know where she is. That could be interesting. So I'm excited to see that part. As for Kyle with the aliens, some parts of this just didn't feel right for Kyle. I don't think Jeremy Adams has the right voice for Kyle just yet. He's a lot more of a veteran than he seems so far in this run. He's not like this noob that's still making his way through aliens. Like, he knows a lot of stuff at this point. He was the universe's only Green Lantern for many, many years, and he's been part of a full core for many, many years. He should know a heck of a lot more by now. So just that's the only thing that feels a bit off. Art's been a lot better. I liked the art a lot better this time. So I will give it a 7. Give it a solid 7. I think is fair. Hopefully it picks up very soon. We will have to see. And now we get on to The Flash. And this is brought to us, written by Ryan North, one of my favorite upcoming writers, with art from Gavin Guidry and colors from Adriano Lucas, letters from Buddy Bedoin, and cover from Guidry and Adriano Lucas. So Wally is running through the city as fast as he fucking can. He has like a brief few minutes to find this nuclear bomb that is somewhere in the city. And he's running through Central and Keystone and all the surrounding cities trying to find it. He can't find it. He's even breaking his own personal rules, his own code of going into places he's not allowed to go, like people's homes. He's invading people's privacy because this bomb could literally be anywhere. He's even checking out the beds, anywhere, basements, attics, everything, to the point that he figures there's only one thing left to do. He grabs Captain Cold, and after having, well, he goes to talk to Linda first. She gets the skinny on some guy called George Stebbings with a shell company called Limited Liability and Lights Locations Capital LLC. And as Wally points out, LLC. It's a really dumb name, but it's the whole. It's basically what's backing the app that is forcing Wally to run around everything, run around saving people, run around the city doing these stupid challenges. So with that, Wally kind of has I don't want to call it a flash of insight. He's calling something else a flash of insight. A flash of brilliance. He has an idea, and he grabs Captain Cold and takes him to none other than the government bullion repository that is in Central City. As Captain Cold describes it, Central City's own Fort Knox Jr. And Captain Cold figures that Wally needs him to break in, but as Wally demonstrates, he does not need anyone to help him break into Fort Fox. He knows how to do it with super speed. And he does so with just moving a guy around and opening the safe way. It's some wild shit. So they get inside. The reason he pulled Captain Cold in is so Captain Cold could defuse the bomb. This was literally the last place in the city he had not looked, so it's the only place it could possibly have been. And sure enough, it's there, and there's 1 second left. They're safe because Wally was able to pull Captain Cold into his Speed Force aura, so Captain Cold is also going at super speed as well. So with that, Captain Cold buys them a little bit of extra time by blasting the bomb with his cold gun, and that turns it from a nuclear device into just a dirty bomb, as he calls it. But it won't create a giant nuclear reaction anymore, which is good. And it gives him a bit more time to defuse it, which he does in mere seconds. It's fairly easy. So then he brings Captain Cold way the fuck out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Now that he saved the planet, and then he goes straight to George Stebbings, comes in with a boom, just like Batman, with all the fear coming behind it. But George kind of just knocks it off. And starts giving him like this CEO lingo, like, I've got lawyers, you can't do this, and just being all nonchalant Lex Luthor of it. But Wally just spits it back in his face and says, "You've got nothing, dude. I've got evidence. I found you in an afternoon while running around the city. I figured you out. Okay, you've got nothing." Even punches him in the face, and then he has a flash of insight, which is what he's calling his little visions of the future of him vibrating his hand in a web hosting server, and that is the same web hosting server that is hosting the app that is forcing him to run around all over the place. So that ended that. The app is down, offline for good. The CEO was arrested. The guy that was running the app is in the wind, so he might come back sometime in the future. For what reason, we don't know. But that adventure for now is done, and Wally heads home to just slow down and spend the morning with his kids. Even makes chocolate chip protein pancakes. Uh, they head off to school, and Wally and Linda just share a bit of a moment before Wally goes off for a bit of a jog. Um, just as his morning routine, he says he might even take a bit of a longer detour because he really wants to get a handle on these flashes of insight. He's trying to figure out how to make them happen so they don't just appear at random. And that last one that happened, he felt something. He felt a little muscle spasm when it happened. And he realized that maybe, just maybe, if he finds the right muscle and pushes it the right way, he's able to cause the flash of insight. And suddenly he's able to do it. He figures it out. He figures out what to do in his body. He doesn't describe what it is he does, but he figures out what to do to make them happen. And he gets 3 brief flashes of insight um, of surrounding people around him, and he's able to stop them from causing not major accidents, just a lady leaves some trash behind, some kids RC car gets run over by another car, and a guy slips on a banana peel and falls on his butt. He stops all 3 of those things from happening instantly, and now he races off as the Flash, knowing that now he can see the future whenever he wants. Obviously, not too far into the future and not for very long, but he's still able to do it. Wally West officially has a confirmed, bona fide new ability, and that's very interesting. So right away, art fantastic. Ryan North, holy shit! There's a reason he is my favorite up and coming writer. He is right off the bat, and I'm going to do a bit of comparison here with Cy Spurrier. Cy Spurrier tried to give Wally some new abilities, but he did it in a very confusing and lambastic, in a way that I still don't fully understand what those abilities were, what their purpose was. What was he like shifting? Always shifting between dimensions or time or what? But they seem to only matter to that storyline, and I think they only were happening because of the alien dimensional beings that were attacking the Speed Force. I think that's the only reason he could do that, because now he's not doing it. Or either that or he just doesn't have a reason to. But now in that took like 24 issues to get to the bottom of. And it still didn't make a lot of sense. Ryan North has done it in 3, and it's a lot simpler. He gets brief flashes of the future, and I think that's very interesting, and it kind of still fits with his abilities in a way, because he could travel through time. Why can't he see through time? Even just like he's speed thinking so much, he's speeding to the future in his mind. It's might be a little bit out there for a speedster, but Waldy's got such a connection to the Speed Force. I don't know. It's I like it right now. And it's simple. It's contained. It's not so fucking out there that it doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't fully need to make sense. It's just there and it's fine. But yeah, I like it. Solid. I'm gonna give this one an 8.75 out of 10. Very solid issue. Very solid opening story arc for Ryan North. I can't wait to see what he's got planned for Wally in the future. And now we're going to jump on over to Zatanna number 2. And this is brought to us, if I can find the credits page. Hold on, please, for a minute. There we go. This is written and drawn with cover by Jamal Campbell and letters from Ariana Mar. So bear with me, because I was not going to be covering this. Magic is not my strong suit. So I'm going to try my best. We'll see what I can come up with. But basically, Zatanna is fighting some serpent people with magic. She's able to get the upper hand. She describes something about, magic is like opening a door. But if that puzzle, or if when that locked door becomes an inviting puzzle, things can come in. aren't supposed to. I don't know. It's she describes something with doors and magic, and it's very interesting. But then we jump to the main bulk of the story. Obviously, the DEO is doing some stuff. Oh, excuse me, with Agent D Manis, still trying to make do with their new magical branch at the DEO. Meanwhile, Satana has met up with none other than Papa Midnight as she needs his assistance, dealing with some new ghostly figure, which I believe we saw in the first issue, but I don't remember much about it. And they also go to meet a ghost by the name of Elodie Arnett, who is a wonderful singer. And they go to or basically her gravesite, I believe. They need her help trying to figure out this spirit. Very, very rough spirit, very, very tempestuous spirit. Also musical, very musical. Elodie is able to get a reading from this spirit. It's either is the spirit of Clara Dubois or is a spirit that was very closely tied to Clara Dubois. Clara was a singer that had a voice well beyond her years. And from what I understand, she lived many years. And when she finally passed away, the spirit of the house she lived in, Aede, that's a word in French I do not know how to pronounce. Aede, 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 I think. Kind of just went a little crazy and misses Clara and is mad with grief, as Zatanna put it. So now the three of them need to figure out how to bring this spirit down. So they go to the Maison d'Aedi in France to trap it, and they set up this whole thing, magical circle, people around. However, the DEO, Agent D Manis, is there along with some of his his cohorts, his agents that work with him. Zatanna and Papa Midnight and Elodie are ready to cast their spell to calm the spirits and try to have it remember what happened and just not turn beings into flower heads, because apparently when it sings its song, it kind of just splits the mind so much the heads turn into flowers. So they have some singers come along, or maybe that was the it's a little confusing. I don't know. Maybe it was the DEO that was doing that. Point is, they start to try and wrangle this spirits, but the DEO steps in and kind of ruins things. They want to co-opt the spirit and turn it into an agent for themselves. Elodie and Zatanna are both affected by the spirit. Elodie is starting to turn into a flower head, but she is a ghost. I assume that's why it's not fully working. Magical sniper that works for the DEO with Agent D Manis snipes Zatanna. She's able to catch the bullet, but something else has happened to her, and she's just kind of locked in a dead trance in a way. Meanwhile, D Manis has these spirits under his control, seemingly. He has a conductor's baton. Music and magic is going like crazy in this issue. It's a thrill ride. It looks fantastic. Jamal Campbell is a fantastic writer, fantastic artist. He's got such a way with the comic book. And his Zatanna is fantastic. But as I said, magic's not my strong suit. When it comes to magic and stories, I'm much more of a sci-fi nerd. So I don't completely understand it. I'm not going to fault the book for that. I know that it is well written. I know that it looks fantastic. And I know that for somebody that will understand magic and Zatanna's history and all that stuff, they will love this book even more so for that. But I just don't fully understand it because I don't get magic. It doesn't mean I don't like it. I think it looks fantastic. I think it reads really well, and I'm interested in where this is going to go in the future. And I really do hope that Zatanna gets a long ongoing. Even more so, I hope Jamal Campbell gets a long ongoing with this book. I think the man truly deserves it. So despite all that, I personally am going to give it an 8 just because I don't fully understand it. will read very well to somebody that is well versed in magical stories, and not read well to somebody that is not well versed in magical stories. But for that, I will give it an 8. I can still appreciate what I have in front of me. So we will now jump on over to Superman number 38. There's another chapter with Superboy Prime. And this, yes, Prime Time Part 3. Excuse me while I bring up the credits page. I think it's at the end of the issue. I hate when they do that. It's really fucking annoying. Just leave it at the front of the issue. No, it's not even there. Where the hell is the credits page? The hell, man? Oh, shit, it was at the front. Okay, my bad. It's written by Joshua Williamson with art and cover from Dan Mora, colors from Alejandro Sanchez, and letters from Ariana Maher. So, Superboy Prime, or CK as he calls himself, is just closing up shop at the comic store. Is heading home, pondering how he's really going to be able to juggle a life and superheroics. But hey, if Clark Kent can do it, so can he. There's got to be some way he can do it. Lois said he always found time for both. He just wishes he could talk to Superman to get a sign of how he should do things. But this is when he finds Witchfire. But he doesn't know it's Witchfire yet. Just that cute redhead from the comic book store. He knows her from as pull box number 87 because he works at the comic shop and he's a nerd. She's being attacked by monsters, specifically Wolfman, Dracula, and Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster, not the ones you know, like literally classic monsters. Obviously, CK steps in, but then she reveals himself to be Witchfire. She traps him, but then his clothes burn away to reveal his supersuit underneath. And then she realizes, wait, the cute guy from the comic book store is a superhero. And he says, wait, you said I was cute? So he reveals his brief history. He's not a great superhero. He killed a bunch of people, not exactly innocent, but working on a redemption arc. He does this whole break the fourth wall kind of story. But then they start to work together. She reveals that she needed him for a spell as somewhat of sacrifice because her coven is sensing dark magic going on in Metropolis. That someone is potentially summoning a demon, so they figured a sacrificial bait spell would draw them out. But clearly that didn't work because he's not sacrificial bait worthy. He's too cute to die, as she would probably say. So they fly off together to work on this as a duo. And they show up to this club called the Hellhole in full goth gear, I might add. And my God, do they look hot. So they meet up with Witchfire's coven. She goes over her own brief history of death and rebirth and working with Wonder Woman, being at the power company, etc., etc. And as she even says, I've always found my way back to the world of the living. I assume she's died a few times. I'm not too well versed. Again, magic's not my strong suit. I have not read a lot of magic-based books. She was in a lot of magic-based books, so I'm not too familiar with this character. But also, not surprising, a magic-based character came back to life multiple times. It's only happened dozens of times before with dozens of other magical-based characters. It happens. But now, yeah, they begin to work together. They go into the sewers to try and find this thing. CK gets bit of a weird dizzying spell. Things are upside down and shit's going haywire, and they come across Lady Blaze and Lord Satanus, who are summoning these demons. Witchfire and her coven are able to hold off a bunch, but this is when CK realizes, well, shit, I don't have to hold back. I can go all out. These are demons. Nobody cares if they get maimed and destroyed. So he starts ripping people to shreds. He's going crazy. Even Witchfire goes to some crazy, like, leveled up fire magical ability, burns away some demons. Completely impresses CK. They teleport out of there as they have successfully stopped the demon summoning and fought back Lady Blaze and Lord Satanus. Was that Lady Blaze? Yeah, Lady Blaze and Lord Satanus. So they end up back on the streets, and they're about to share a moment, even a kiss. And this is when Superboy Prime starts to speak in gibberish. Um, and his words are just all jumbled. He has no idea what's happening, and then he just gets pulled through through the page. Oh shit! I didn't realize even on the ad, he's falling through the ad onto sketch page. Pre-work, even with notes for Dan Mora at the cover, at the corner. Sorry. Um, and it's revealed that this is the spirit of Manchester Black has pulled him out of the comic and onto the pages. They have a brief discussion back and forth about Manchester Black. So he knows what redemption arcs are like, but he's going to put Superboy Prime through his fucking paces. And this is when he gives him his own brief glimpse of nostalgia as Superboy Prime wakes up, looks around. He's in his original costume, his old one, that he hasn't worn since Crisis on Infinite Earths. Hell, he hasn't worn since Infinite Crisis. Infinite Crisis, as he turns and sees that he is back in the Infinite Crisis. And all the characters that were there ready to fight him or fight around him are all there coming at him right away. And a lot of faces we have not seen since Infinite Crisis. Crazy issue. I really liked it. I really do hope Superboy Prime sticks on the book for a while. For those that don't know or don't read solicits, spoiler alerts, when Action Comics number 1100 rolls around, that is the return of Superman, like proper Clark Kent. He's coming back right in and around Action Comics number 1100, just in time for that Zod storyline that is coming in August. So we don't know going forward in September onward if Superboy Prime will still be sticking around in the Superman title, or what's going to be happening, or if Clark is just going to be in Action Comics. Who the fuck knows? I just hope Superboy Prime sticks around in some capacity. I think Joshua Williamson has been doing a really good job with him, and Dan Mora drawing Superboy Prime is fantastic. They've got CK kind of building a life for himself and having a proper redemption arc, and he's found love with Wishfire. It's coming up CK. It really is. I like it a lot. I hope he doesn't go away, but I also wouldn't be surprised if come August, Superman steps back into the book and takes it back from Superboy Prime. Let's face it was never going to be forever, but I was hoping it would at least be a year instead of a few months. As for this issue, though, very, very good stuff. Again, not too well versed in the Magic stuff, so I like semi-glossed over a lot of that. But it was fun. Dan Mora drew these two, and like young in their prime, like good-looking characters. They're hot people, and they're getting to know each other. Like, okay, it's working. It's making sense. So I'm going to give this one an 8.75. Just got docked a quarter point for the Magic stuff because I didn't understand it. And then we jump on over to Detective Comics. Bear with me while I pull that one up. It's hard to jump around from book to book when you're the only one on the show. But I get through it nonetheless. This is Flight Part 3. And there's the credits page. This is written by Tom Taylor with art, color, and cover from Mikel Janin and letters from Wes Abbott. We open up on a brief flashback to the previous time in Gotham. Excuse me. When Prion first joined up with Batman, Black Canary, and Green Arrow, and they meet in the secret location of Wildcat's gym, and Ted Grant is there right away in full suit, and they are going to teach him some combat techniques and make sure that if he's going to be doing the superhero stuff, he's on the up and up and he knows how to defend himself. And since the other three are highly skilled and highly trained combat experts, he's going to be going up against Green Arrow first. And obviously Ollie, not knowing or understanding that Prion might have some combat history, starts to go easy on him and goad him a little bit. So Prion just wipes the floor with him. And then we jump back to the present day when Ollie is falling out of the building after he's pushed out by that girl that was at the cemetery. Meanwhile, the whole thing is being Narrated in text boxes by Batman. Ollie is very clean in rescuing himself using his leather belt, and as he lands on a nearby steel girder, because the building is still under construction, that's when he notices Batman. Um, Obviously, Batman trusted Ollie was going to catch himself, so he kind of gives him a compliment. Ollie backhanded, he's like, "Thanks, I guess." It's like, "Oh, so you weren't gonna catch because you knew I could do it myself?" Well, that's very kind of you, bitch, kind of deal. Then they go back up to the building together and find that girl who is trying to, as Ollie calls it, gaslight him. She's like, "Oh, Mr. Queen, what are you doing here? Like, how did you fall out of the building?" And he's not buying any of that shit. He knows he got pushed, and Batman's not buying it either. But she decides to jump out of the building anyway. She actually has a parachute though, so she's fine. Batman glides after her, and this is the only part of the book that kind of doesn't make sense to me because she has a parachute. As all done with parachutes, you tend to fall down very slowly. You have some level of control where you can turn yourself or go left and right and like slow yourself down, speed yourself up, kind of deal. She's in this parachute gliding through the fucking city. It's not a paraglider, it's not wings, it's a literal fucking parachute. I don't think I've ever seen a parachute work like this. And she's even doing it, she's in a flying motion. It's kind of weird. Batman's able to catch up to her though, but she gets loose from him and falls down to the ground. There are quite a few stories up, and as Batman narrates, that a fall from that height can break a lot of bones, um, maybe even kill you, unless you know how to fall. And we see that she knows how to fall. She gets away with just a couple of scratches, and as Batman lands, she kind of flips him over her, and she escapes. After a brief explosion from her backpack. Then Green Arrow arrives, tries to knock her out with a gas arrow, but no, sorry. Then she escapes into the sewers, knocks into a secret area, and opening the door is none other than Black Canary. And this girl is surprised to see her, but then she says, "Please help! Someone is after me." Not knowing, Black Canary not knowing that is Batman and Green Arrow that's after her. And she says, "That's okay. We can make this a safe house for two," as Mr. Muniz is in the safe house with Black Canary. How this little girl knew there was a safe house there, I don't know. Black Canary seems to be unaware that this girl is the one that Batman and Green Arrow are hunting, but she was also in the cemetery when she first appeared. Guaranteed Dinah knows that this is the girl and she's playing coy. One, she's seen the girl's face before. She would recognize her. Two, how would that girl know there's a safe house there? And three, why is she being chased? That's going to be questions running through Dinah's mind. They're making it seem like this girl is going to kill Mr. Muniz for whatever reason. We still don't know who this girl is, but apparently she has deep ties to Prion. That may or may not be her code name, as her handler in her ear called her. But looks fantastic. Still a very good story. I'm loving this trio of history, and even bringing in Wildcat into it. So even though old Ted is dead, he's not forever gone. He still has some stories in him, and I like to see that. The only gripe I had, as I pointed out, was her gliding through the city with a parachute. I know it's possible to glide with a parachute. You can go forward with a parachute, but it's just the way she was doing it did not look great at all. It looked like she was Superman flying through the city, but using a parachute. It did not make sense at all. But maybe I just don't know enough about gliding. Maybe I just don't know enough about parachuting, and base jumping, and all that stuff, all that fun stuff. Maybe I'm just out of the loop on some of that. Who the fuck knows? Maybe I know as much about para jumping as I do about magic. I don't know. I'll have to find out. I'm going to do some damn research and know that. Not on magic, but on fucking paragliding. Base jumping, parachuting, all that fun, thrill-seeking stuff. That's all I can really say about this issue. It was kind of to the point. It felt like a very full issue, but when you look back at it, not too much happened in terms of timeline. Like, it was maybe over the course of an hour. There was a lot of conversation, and it was interesting. It was scintillating, fun conversation between two characters we all know and love, between Bruce and Ollie. It's fun stuff. So it's a solid issue. I will give it an 8.5. Um, Definitely worth a check out. And now we jump on over to Justice League Unlimited for our last book of the week. This is written by Mark Waid with art from Dan Mora and colors from Tamara Bonvillain with letters from Ariana Maher and the cover from Dan Mora. We open up with Officer Jim Gordon screaming at Batman saying, "Have you lost your damn mind?" Bringing villains into the Justice League, offering them amnesty. How could you, of all people, do this? Yada, yada. Same shit we've been hearing all the time. And then we get a brief rundown of various heroes talking to various political boards, like the United Nations, the U.S. government, on a podcast. But this podcast is hardwired, starring friggin' Jack Ryder and Livewire. And all the heroes are basically running down that, this amnesty thing isn't like open to everybody. We're hand selecting key people that we believe could be used to help out, to turn their lives around, except Jack Ryder and Livewire, both members of the Justice League, and Livewire being granted amnesty. Jack is turning this whole thing into, he's basically Fox Newsing it, is the best way I can describe it. He's putting a spin on it in a negative light. And as Livewire kind of pulls him aside off air and says, "What are you doing? Like, we're both in the Justice League. I'm in the amnesty program." He says, "Yes, but the big guns haven't really let that be known to everybody properly what this is all about, and didn't let everybody have a vote," kind of deal. You can't deny that there's some questionable things going on. He's kind of got a point. So we then jump over to a mission that's happening, and the away team is none other than Captain Marvel. Oh shit! I just booked. He's being called Captain Marvel. He's not called the Captain. In this issue, he's called Captain Marvel. Old Billy Batson, Shazam himself. Okay, Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Lex Luthor, Starro, and Dr. Polaris. Very interesting team. Are going after a villain called Neutron, whose abilities, radioactive energy, super strong, super durable, and powerful smart. Wicked smart. Felix Faust is also there to cause a ruckus because he's a dick. They are both gallivanting around the city, trashing shit and stealing things, saying, "Hey, we've been granted amnesty because we're villains of the Justice League, trust us," yada yada. As the Justice League have shown up, start beating the crap out of them and showing to the news reporters that have arrived on the scene that no, they have not been granted amnesty. Shut the fuck up. Some fights happen. Faust is getting the upper hand. And this is when Lex steps in. Staros kind of steps in and gets a spore onto Felix Faust's face, which nullifies him for the time being. They are able to stop Neutron temporarily. And this is when Lex steps to the plate, walks up to the reporters. This whole mess is all his fault to begin with, but he figures he's going to try and clear the air a bit more. Batman, meanwhile, is in his ear telling him to shut the fuck up, stop talking to the reporter, stop talking shit. You're not in charge of this mission. Get back to it. And the whole time, Lex is just, "Okay, no, I got this. Chill, dude." He starts talking to the reporters, explaining that, okay, these two characters, Felix Faust and Neutron, have not been granted amnesty. They are not part of this program. They are causing damage to the city, and we are here to stop them. The people that have been chosen for a reason, as they've been chosen for their capability to do good. That maybe, just maybe, they could be reformed. And take, for example, Dr. Polaris here. He is a man that has been diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, but his power set is specifically calibrated to defeat Neutron very easily, and he has a willingness to do good. He wants to, as they then show Dr. Polaris taking down Neutron and saving the day. and Dr. Belair, aka Dr. Neil Emerson, he needs the assistance. He needs the help with his dissociative identity disorder, but he's willing to try. He's doing good work, and uh, and then they show him just saving the day, and then they ask him some questions. Dr. Polaris himself, um, and he just eloquently puts that the villains that have been chosen for the reform program acknowledge that maybe it's time to serve a higher power, acknowledge a higher cause, and do some good in the world. And that kind of sets things right a little bit, diffuses some tension a little bit. Batman is still not completely happy about it. Lex seems a little too smug about it. But for now, things are fine. Meanwhile, Guy, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, and Hawk Girl are out in space with this energy nuclei, as Mr. Terrific calls it, and it's this orb that actually contains the abilities of every superhero. And it's a what do they call it? A backup system to bring superpowers back to the heroes if need be, if ever a moment like what happened in Absolute Power with Amanda Waller happens again, that their powers are taken away, so they need their powers again. This orb contains, excuse me, a small fraction of every superpower on the planet. And then they get hit by a ship that was coming out of hyperspace, and the ball kind of falls through the windshield and onto a nearby planet. Guy goes out to investigate what the ship is, and it is some aliens that were trying to escape something. The orb has fallen to the planet. Guy tries to get it, but even the ship they're in can't even match its speed. It's falling too fast. It crash lands on the planet, and as Guy lands on the planet, he finds that all the creatures that are there, which look a lot like dinosaurs, or at least alien type dinosaurs, have now manifested all sorts of abilities. We even see a T-Rex looking thing with heat vision. So that planet's fucked. Who knows what's going to happen next? And then finally, meanwhile, on the Watchtower, some young heroes are also starting to question the League's decisions, or at least the senior leadership team's decisions with this amnesty program. Specifically, it's Natasha Irons, Connor Kent, and Airwave are the three talking about this, as Airwave starts having these communications of someone saying where Connor thinks it's him saying, but it's not him saying it. And he says, who did say that? You guys hear a crackle as something starts happening to Airwave, and he starts turning into electromagnetic frequency. And this word where keeps happening, where, until he starts to shapeshift in a whole bunch of crackling electricity into none other than Brainiac Queen saying, "Where is my mother?" And this is when Donna Troy and the Atom are showing up as well. And Donna just goes, "Oh, fuck." Brainiac Queen is back, unfortunately. We'll have to see what's going on there. Why she's back, who the fuck knows? I think we all knew at some point she was going to return. I don't think she was ever completely gone. I think at the end of, I think it was Absolute Power, we saw a bit of her consciousness fly up into the ethos somewhere in space. So eventually she was going to show up. Just a shame that Airwave cannot catch a fucking break. Mark Waid has a hate on for this guy, I swear. Like when he was writing Brave and the Bold, he got to the chapters with the Harold Jr. and just saw that maybe he did Airwave's a little shit. He just doesn't like him. I don't fucking know. Point is, Airwave gets shit on by Mark Waid in this run, and I don't like it. Guy can't catch a fucking break. So beyond that, I don't know. I actually kind of dug this issue. It was actually somewhat interesting. The stuff going on with the Justice Gang, which is the unofficial name, but I believe that name is going to be used in later issues. It is movie synergy, but it's kind of interesting for now. Stuff with Lex Luthor going on in the amnesty program, I'm going to be honest with you, is getting a little more interesting. I'm kind of digging it right now. The stuff with Brainiac Queen, dear God. We'll have to see what's going on there. I'm not going to pass complete judgment on it yet. I don't think it's a great idea that she's back right now in a book that, for me, still needs to do some course correcting and is still kind of all over the place. And now they're just throwing in another fucking dart on the wall. But we'll see what happens. And also, my boy Airwave has some slack cut on him because he's getting too much shit thrown at him as well. Guy can't catch fucking break, as I said. Mark Waid hates Airwave. And I'm starting to hate Mark Waid. Not really. I still like Mark Waid, but dear God, leave him alone. Leave Airwave alone, for fuck's sake. Looks fantastic. It's Dan Mora. Of course it does. So that boosts the score up for me. I will give it 7.5 out of 10 for now. I would say for now, but I never go back and change the score. It's always like asterisk, depending on how the story arc ends, depending on how next issue goes, depending on how this question gets answered. Maybe I'll change the score. I never change the fucking score. I never go back and fix up the scores. I maybe have done that once or twice over 4 or 5 years doing this podcast. I'm never gonna fucking do it, but I'll still say for now 7.5. So that brings us to the end of the books, and that brings me to top 3 and favorite moment, if I have one. I haven't really thought about it yet. I just finished the books today. I think I could come up with one on the fly. Top 3 is going to be as follows. Number 3 is going to be Detective Comics. Number 2 is going to be Superman. Number 1 is going to be The Flash. And you know what? Favorite moment? I'm just going to give it to The Flash after there's so many good moments in that issue when he comes flying through that window with a boom. He just looks so menacing and Batman-like, but also Superman-like at the same time. I've never seen one that looks so fierce before. But I think after that, when he just gets to be at home with his kids and his wife, and he's making breakfast and he's talking that dad jokes again, it makes me feel good inside. Warm and fuzzy on the inside. I like it. And that will about do it. I do a favorite cover, but I don't have them in front of me. Maybe I could do a brief rundown of favorite covers here. We got Justice League Unlimited. It's got Brainiac Queen on the cover, so that was kind of telegraphing things right away. Detective Comics was very cool, but only Batman on the cover. So yeah, Superman was kind of hot. Witchfire and Superboy Prime in a very, very romantic kind of pose, like they're like 5 months into a relationship kind of deal. That was kind of nice. What do we got next? Well, that's it. I don't know where the rest went. Right, there was Zatanna, there was Green Lantern, there was Absolute Wonder Woman. I think I'm going to give it to Superman this week. The Flash was quite good as well. Green Lantern was nice. I like Zermanico. But I think Superman's going to get the cover for me. I really like it. I love Dan Mora, and I don't like commenting on the attractiveness of fictional characters, but dear God, Dan Mora draws Superboy Prime and Witchfire as so hot. They're so hot. It's weird for me to say that, but I can't deny it. He's drawn them so hot. So that's going to be my favorite cover this week. Don't hate me. Don't think I'm weird. Please don't. I can't help it. I'm only human. But yeah, that does it for this week. It's been a fun little solo show for an hour and 8 minutes right now. Sorry it ran so long. And sorry we started so late. It's currently almost 8:30. Well, it's just about 8:30 here, local time. So I'm going to head on out of here and put my daughter to bed. Be here every week. Same geek time, same geek channel, I think is what Josh said. I don't remember the outro at this point. I'm going to have to get out of here, so you'll have to as well. Everybody is home in the Geek Matrix. You are not alone. Peace.